dreams. No burglary dreams. Oh, so you don't just think past that. It's a handful of dreams that I can break down to y'all, and I will break down tonight. You don't just look past. Oh, Sarah, you don't just look past. These like real things. The spirit world is when we always make mentalities, spaceships to jump in. And when we jump in spaceships, it's always teamwork makes the dream work, because you make a spaceship out of your awareness. The awareness is the collection of all of ours, and your little bubble out of that wave, out of the awareness, is your own world, your own mentality. So every now and then, when you go into the spiritual world, you go to the ability to make up mentality, spark imaginations. Every now and then, you spark certain imaginations that show you what space you in as a spirit. So you start to see what states of awarenesses you are creating. And once you see what states of awarenesses you are creating, you start to see what groups of other spirits you are around based upon our only way of interacting with each other, creating mentalities and that awareness. So you start to see what's being added on, what's being helped. And every now and then, what's going on in your own life based upon representing your space, you start to make up sparks of imagination, chakras, forms that take shapes and allegories on to match or represent what space you in, because we always have to create a form to represent the space we in. Thank you so much for the donation, pennies. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. So when you're in a holistic space, you spark holistic imaginations, and all the other spirits that spark those same natural selections and desires and shit like that, y'all all start to be aware of each other, but not because your spirit don't got no body. Y'all use objects, shapes, and forms and how y'all interact with each other in order to experience each other in the dream. So a lot of times, the things that we create from the inside out, as far as like mosquitoes, animals, bugs, or animal spirit guides and things of that nature, these are things that we have created from being in a certain spiritual space. Then once we develop a certain state, liquid, solid, gas, mentality, chakra, metaphysical energies, awarenesses out of that space to represent that space, these states of awarenesses become many desires that bend in and confold on each other to manifest as physical forms that we relate to each other. Shared organisms and shit like that. That's why we all have similar forms, but express it in our own individual way. Well, let me calm down the energy a little bit. I just get excited. Y'all. I'm talking about spirituality. And then for the most part, these be representations on what space we are in, and each state represent the space we are in. Now, when you're in a very low vibrational state, these states of awarenesses move very slow. They can scare you a lot of times. And when you're in high vibrational spaces and things of that nature, this is when things can move fluidly, where you're dying at will. Dying how we actually are supposed to experience dying. It's like an orgasm, or in a very small percentage level, exchanging or changing a dream. When one dream just totally changed into another dream. You put death to one form you was in and jumped into another body as a spirit, as an individual solo space, which is a soul. And then you jumped into that other body, that mentality, and started to experience inside that world to add on to it. You gave death to that previous one. That's what life and death is really supposed to be all about. But when y'all get lost in specific chakras and things of that nature that bend in on itself, y'all only want to cling on to one specific light form. Thank you so much for the donation, Levy 11. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. And Double 11, I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. You better believe it, real shit. Let me breathe and hit this shit. So I'll be sick another 5 days. Oh shit, I feel it too. I feel it. It'll be radiating. It should be like radiating like a motherfucker. God damn. It's like a giraffe stepping on my back. Stop. All right, now look. We're going to get all of that tonight, though, because tonight going to be an open panel, too, so y'all can come in and break down y'all dreams and shit like that. And, you know, when we're in the middle of talking and stuff like that, that's when the most fruit of a knowledge can come out. When I'm already got my mind formatted in certain points I'm trying to hit, I'm going to hit the general perspective of it, but it ain't going to be the deep of it as in personal experience and shit, like if we're having a conversation and shit like that. So I'm going to save the rest of that for the night. But just know, you're not even going to have any type of dreams if you're not involved into the external world. So anytime you want to have a sense of peace, you detach yourself from the external world and you won't spark no imagination of a dream. But a lot of times that lead into you not being able to be creative enough also to manifest certain things into the world. So you have to learn moderation in certain ways, shape, or form. And it's also going to break down why even when you are sick, your spirit get helped by your body and your organs that your mind and your body, you as a spirit created, it'll get helped by illness or grieving circumstances that you in some way, shape, or form. And spiritually, you got helped by the external world to be in a certain space And then once you create those states of awarenesses, those mentalities, automatically you have a bad dream or a hellistic dream or hellistic thought forms and things of that nature that you don't normally think about when you was in a different space as a spirit. It's how you separate the spirit from the mind, separate the soul from the mind. These are not the same things. And it's the highest esoteric knowledge you're ever going to get, because always pinpointing the starting of events all the way to the first person who wrote down their perception of the event that we call the sun, and then the calendars and everything started from that person's perspective and shit like that. So we have to be careful clinging on shadow government shit, because you might not know how they're rocking you to sleep based upon all the things we give attention to, and them sitting back creating a language for us to relate to each other, so they automatically know what we're giving attention to. So they already got a heads up on what to create allegories around to have us doing the same thing that they want us to do anyway, even when we think we're not, like Vedic and Sidereal, aka NASA astronomy, utilizing astrology with it. See what I'm saying? But at the same time, this helps you peep game, how to be aware of things, and all the way going down to the Bible, so you can understand the starting point. I should have shared that video. Motherfuckers is copying my knowledge already, because they summon me to even know that shit. But I'm just helping people understand and use logic against logic. So when I tell people any type of ancient book or anything of that nature, don't just separate from the Bible. The Bible is a book of titles too. Even to these terms, black and dark, it's not correlated to the race of people. It's correlated to a nature. So when they say their God is black, they're saying their God is part of a emotion, a feeling. And this is how the spirit became their representation of what they was calling the feminine energy, or the female, which was the mind being the internal and being the black sun. So this was the concept of the first original God being the woman, but the woman is an allegory to the emotion. So the word came from a vibe. Word is logic, masculine, air. The vibe is water, emotion, the intuition. So for the most part, it's coming from that allegory and things of that nature. And then they started to deify that God. And then that's when that God became a demiurge or a demon. But this is what makes the spirit the God bearer. So that's why they call it that also. I'm gonna do a separate video on that too. I just got a lot of shit in my head before I can even get to the astrology. Goddamn. Even get to the goddamn stop Dolo. Get to the astrology. But hold on, wait. I'm gonna do a separate video on this too. This is like the 666. Like, you want to understand the mathematics in the Bible and things of that nature. Understanding the old occult concepts of putting numbers together from necromancy, but summoning the energies of it. So you have to understand the first practices of it from the hieroglyphics and cuneiform, going to be in a numerology, gematria fashion, not as a mathematical fashion that we utilize as them losing us today, teaching everybody from soon as they start school the 7 fucking planets of lostness, which they don't help you understand it as being water cycles and things of that nature. So when you understand the concept of 666, the body of man or woman, this is when you become a man or an adult woman and things of that nature, becoming the age of 18. 6, 12, 18, 777. The reason why that was God or the angelic number or something like that. This was when you become 21 years old. You are old enough to drink. I have more correspondences and starting points because a lot of the witchcraft, Jewish mysticism, prayers that they do, time references, and also a lot of the laws are predicated on these specific ages and things of that nature. All the way going down to the 24-hour clock and the number of 8 being the power of God, but it's 888. That's my actually because I'm a 17 degrees Aries sun, 8 degrees Sagittarius moon, 17 degrees Leo ascendant. But for the most part, that's 888. But is this helping you understand the first house, the 5th house, the 10th house? That'll be 6 a.m. in the morning on a macro cuneiform hieroglyphic astronomy clock aspect, as above, so below. That'll be 6 a.m. To 8 a.m. in the morning, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and 10 p.m. at night to 12 a.m. Midnight. And things of that nature, right? And then for the most part, that's helping you understand that that's a 24-hour cycle. So when you turn 24 years old and things of that nature, any type of allegory of Jesus correlating to 888 or the 8 within the Bible will be Jesus' ministry or the solar plexus doing a 24-year revolution. And that was their allegory. See, it's a deeper astrology. That's why people don't understand it. See, when people hear horoscope and things of that nature, they're getting piggybacking off of people who's already utilizing this shit from hand-me-down knowledge and self-satisfying shit like that. But when you take yourself into the space of understanding the space that a spirit is in for the first point, the first starting point in correspondence, for them to even come to the conclusion what they're coming to in the first place, then you're able to carve out all the onion shaving and be able to see what's actually going on and things of that nature. So that's why people are not able to get that deep in it. Shout out to Store Ivy. But look, people might not be able to get that deep into it. So, you know what I'm saying? You need to keep this in motherfucking mind. So when it comes into the 888 and shit like that, you understand at the age of 24, we're going through a certain way of experiencing the external world. And your solar plexus, which is your Jesus, your individuality, your inner light. We all got a piece of Jesus in us. That's what it's an allegory to. If you ain't got more correspondences and starting points than me, your theologian career need to be go ahead and go cut it down with the Chucky doll. But other than that, like I said, when we start to talk about what we start to experience inside as above, so below from the age of 24, this will be any allegory you start to see as a correspondence within the Bible of Jesus being 888 or 8 within itself. 777 will be 21. And 666 will be the age of 18, right? And that's when you develop a highest chakra wisdom knowledge and things of that nature, where you start to deteriorate other than grow and things of that nature. So that's when you become the number 9 as a numerology cycle, as each age, how I broke down in my mad other videos and things of that nature, telling you that you also got a life path number, but every age you're 1 through 9 again, and you're experiencing a broader perspective of that cycle, especially if you add a few zeros. I mean, if you add a 0 to your age at the moment and things of that nature. You see what I'm saying? So, or a compound number. So for an example, if you're 25 years old, you're going through the cycle of 7 again. See what I'm saying? If you're 28, you're going through the cycle of 1 again and things of that nature. You get what I'm saying? 29, you're going through the cycle of 2 years old. I mean, 2 and 11 again, and things of that nature. So these will help you understand certain phases that you're going through in your life, even beyond astrology. Astrology is just one aspect when we start to talk about your progress chart. But when we talk about the numerology and aspects of that, also from an esoteric perspective, these will be phases that you're going through also, based upon your natural life path number and shit. But let me shut the fuck up and get to these lives. I'm just excited when I talk about spirituality, y'all. Shit. I keep forgetting, goddamn it, I ain't 100%. Whoa, shit. So yeah, tonight gonna be good, because I can be quiet a little bit and listen when I'm letting y'all talk a little bit. Now look, check this out also in this motherfucker though. Shit. So I just be with God. Then I was sick too. So I ain't had nothing else to do but like play around and be God's next door neighbor and shit like that. So I ain't had nothing to do with that. So it's like my brain is about to explode if I don't get all this out. But I look, I get to astrology. Now let's check this out, right? So when we start to talk about Sagittarius sun, moon being in goddamn Virgo right now, this is an experience of worried about being in a box. Now the box is gonna come from with how we see things right now. The sun being in Sagittarius, but the moon is in goddamn it Virgo. So this is gonna make us react and respond into that energy. So we're reacting and responding until if the sun was in a phase of harvest season, get ready to go into the motherfucking fall, and it's the end of goddamn summertime and things of that nature. So that's the phase that the moon is in right now, but it's gonna look like the sun, aka us actually experiencing fall. And the last Merkaba or the last decon, nakshatra or asterism or whatever the fuck you want to call it, it's all the same goddamn shit. The last tail end of goddamn fall. And we're getting ready to go into Capricorn or tarot card, tower card, or goddamn the winter season and things of that nature, which is the Book of Enoch and shit like that. It's an allegory to that, winter giants and shit like that. So don't get it fucked up. And if you don't even understand that, when it say that angels came and had sex with women and created giants and things of that nature, angels are higher ideas, right? So when you use logic, now when you use logic for a big emotion, something you want to feel like a giant about, you know what I'm saying? You got some type of self-ego or whatever like that. The black sun, this is the woman, this is the dark, this is the demon, but this is also the solar plexus catering to the lower desires in some way, shape, or form. So it's in the nighttime half, as above, how we see from PM or fall and winter, and as below, how we make a correspondence when we take our bright sun and put it down below so we can do some shadow work or use manipulating energy. However, the witches start to utilize it back in the witch trials. But at the same time, the witch's broom and all that is all allegories to how we utilize and transmute our, manipulating abilities and shit like that. With creating an emotion that's a persuasion, and it's not actually how you truly feel, but you know that emotion that you're using is going to get you the outcome that you want. So that's what it's talking about as far as the witch's broom, being the stick on your spine and being the bottom half or your dick or your pussy. That's the witch's broom part, where the dust at, as far as being a tribe of the Gentile and things of that nature. And the tribe of the Gentiles is an allegory of a spirit that's staying in their lower desires or root chakras to try to manifest from the world instead of utilizing their logic or themselves. They rather utilize their manipulative emotions and see how they can utilize others in some way, shape, or form. Which gets us into the astrological aspect of this too, as the correspondences between the second and the eighth house, where the eighth house is deep desires or manipulating, and the second house is values. So this bringing these two things together could become shared values, where you manipulate a other out of their gifts and talents. Second house, for the sake of your deep desires and what you're trying to get out of this situation that a person had to uncover from darkness in some way, shape, or form. Eighth house. You see what I'm saying? Now let me get on astrology. Damn, I done damn near taught y'all about goddamn second house. I ain't even getting into the goddamn. It's all correspondent though. It's all correspondence. This shit all you need to hear. This shit all you need to hear. You know what I'm saying? All of it is for your mind, so you get structured out and you see other things and shit like that and be able to add it back to astrology and shit. But yeah,